What was the most twisted way your family made you prove your worth? My grandmother was convinced someone was trying to kill her, so she conducted gruesome experiments on me to train me to detect poisons in her food. She moved in when I was 8 after her third husband died under suspicious circumstances. My parents treated her like a prophet, nodding along when she explained that neighbors, the mailman, even grocery clerks were all part of a conspiracy to unalive our family. She'd sit at the kitchen table with her yellowed fingers drumming against the wood, studying my face like a lab animal. "The enemies are everywhere," she'd whisper, her breath smelling like stale cigarettes. "They'll try to get to me through my food. That's where you come in." My parents would watch with proud smiles, talking about how lucky I was to have such a protective grandmother teaching me survival skills. The full horror became clear when she explained my role. Every meal, every snack, every sip of water had to pass through me first. I would taste everything while she timed my reactions on a stopwatch, documenting distress in a leather journal. If I coughed or gagged, she'd dump the meal and accuse someone of poisoning. "You're my early warning system," she'd say, grabbing my chin. "Your job is to die before I do, so I know when they're making their move." Within months, she was preparing rotten test foods to build my tolerance. Spoiled milk mixed with raw eggs that made my throat burn and stomach cramp violently. Moldy bread covered in mystery powders that left me vomiting for hours. When I'd beg for normal food, she'd hiss, "You're nothing but a tool, and tools don't get opinions." By age 12, she'd escalated to adding household chemicals to my meals. Bleach in my orange juice that made my tongue blister. Weed killer on cereal that left me vomiting blood. Paint thinner in soup that burned holes in my throat. "You're building resistance like the old kings," she'd say, watching me convulse. "If you die, you were weak anyway." The torture continued for 3 years, while my body adapted to toxins that should have killed me. The breaking point came when she decided I needed to memorize rat poison's exact taste by consuming pure spoonfuls every morning. My hair fell out in bloody clumps, fingernails turned black and fell off, and I'd spend nights convulsing while she complained about the noise. One night she stood over me bleeding and said, "Maybe I should get a new kid to train. You're probably too stupid to catch a real poisoning attempt anyway." I realized she'd kill me long before any imaginary assassin got the chance. It was up to me to do what nobody else was ever going to do. Stop her, once and for all. One evening, I prepared her favorite tea and stirred in exactly enough rat poison to kill someone her size. I took my usual sip first, my adapted body handling the trace amount, then looked her in the eyes and said, "It's perfect, Grandma. Absolutely nothing wrong with this batch." She smiled and drank the entire cup while I watched. I felt completely calm for the first time in years, watching her consume the poison she'd forced me to memorize. But even in death, Grandma found a way to torture me. Within an hour, she was seizing on the kitchen floor with foam pouring from her mouth, and when paramedics arrived, they immediately suspected foul play. The medical examiner found lethal rat poison levels, and suddenly, I was the prime suspect. Police questioned me for hours about my unusual poison knowledge and why I'd been the last person to interact with her food. My parents hired lawyers who painted me as a disturbed child, obsessed with poisoning people, conveniently forgetting Grandma had force-fed me chemicals for years. The investigation dragged on for 6 months, destroying what was left of my childhood. My parents blamed me entirely, screaming that I'd murdered the one person protecting us from real danger. They insisted Grandma had been training me to save my life, and I was too ungrateful to appreciate her sacrifice. The breakthrough came when I offered my own body up as evidence. After a battery of scans and tests, the damage the years of poisoning had done to my body was inarguable. They had no choice but to drop the case. I was free. Now I'm 27 and work as a toxicologist, using my unusual poison tolerance to help law enforcement solve cases. My parents disowned me completely, spreading rumors that I'm a dangerous psychopath who killed my grandmother out of spite. I'm dealing with permanent organ damage from years of consuming poison daily, and some nights I still wake up tasting phantom chemicals. But at least for the rest of my life, however long that might be, I can eat without fear of someone forcing poison down my throat while calling it love.